Your WTVA Severe Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Matt.
We are 2 for 2 so far in November. 2 days in a row, 2 record high temperatures. Yesterday, the all-time highest temperature we've had in November at Tupelo Regional Airport. Today, breaking a record that goes back to the 1970s, 1971 in particular there. Our new record for this state set today at 86 degrees, and the record on the books for tomorrow is 86. That is what we're forecasting for the high temperature tomorrow, as we have a front that approaches, but I think it waits just late enough that we're still able to get all the way up into the middle, in some cases upper 80s for highs tomorrow. Now, what you will notice here that we haven't talked a lot about recently, rain chances. And while I'm going to leave this percentage off the 7-day forecast, and we'll discuss why here in a moment, there's at least a slight chance to maybe see a few showers for tomorrow. I'm going to refer to this as meaningless moisture that could arrive tomorrow in the late afternoon and evening. And being in the middle of a drought, how could anything be meaningless? Well, here's why we're going to say that. And we discussed this meaningless moisture by looking at a more meaningful picture sent in by Tisha from the Davis Lake area. What we've highlighted here, this little strip of red, is something that the sunrise this morning was capturing there, and something we call virga. See what's happening here? We have rain that's falling from the cloud. Okay, good, rain. It starts off at least as those raindrops, but it intercepts some dry air near the surface, and what then happens is that evaporates the rainfall. So this is important. We'll show you storm track Doppler radar here in a minute, but the radar actually picks up this rainfall aloft, but as that dry air gobbles it up, what happens is actually converts that virga that we're talking about, those raindrops, with the dry air. It evaporates that, causes some gusty winds, and what it means is we don't get any actual rainfall totals, meaningful rainfall down at the surface, unfortunately. And in Oxford, good example of that right now, because you don't see any windshield wipers on these cars, and the roadway's certainly dry there. 75 the current temperature, but that dew point coming in at 55, that 20-degree difference there tells us that the moisture is being gobbled up. These numbers need to be close together for this moisture detected on storm track Doppler radar. Current time there, by the way. There's some showers out there, right? But the thing is, we're looking so far away from the radar site in Columbus and in Memphis, where we're closer to the ground, you notice no returns. But you get here in the middle, where we're about 2 miles up in the atmosphere, and the radar is actually able to pick that up. So those returns not unfortunately yielding anything this evening, and that could be the case again with our front moving in from the north and west that doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with. That front is our best hope in the last week and for the next week for rainfall. We've said that recently quite often, and unfortunately this one's not going to do a whole lot for us. Notice tomorrow midday still well to our north, and so since we're south of that, that helps those temperatures to get into the mid 80s for highs by tomorrow in the afternoon. Notice what Storm Tracker does. It does bring in a few spotty showers. Don't get attached to the exact location on these, but the unfortunate thing is, even though we could have a few showers late tomorrow into the evening and the overnight hours, it's that same virga thing we were talking about a minute ago. Most of that moisture getting gobbled up by dry air near the surface. So what that means is, at best, this is the best projection I could come up with, a couple hundredths of an inch of rainfall. And the important thing to note is the average rainfall we'd see for just tomorrow is 13 hundredths of an inch. So we would still be in a deficit on the rainy day of the week. That's why we leave the percentage off there. The bigger factor with this front, to a large extent, temperatures do take at least a little bit of a dip behind it. When we compare it to average, we do get one morning where we're below our average for this time of year. In a couple days, we're only single digits above, but then we race right back into the upper 70s and lower 80s in the extended forecast as we keep it dry. And that new drought monitor tomorrow, unfortunately, is going to expand that drought for a lot of locations as we continue to escalate from severe to extreme drought for many spots. Tonight's Color of the Weather winner this evening coming to us from Amory. Ryder Lewis there, showing a beautiful picture there. Looks like enjoying the outdoors himself. No burning though, Ryder. More news coming up after this.